Hello there, my friends. Chris Mark is here with you for Arcadia Economics. And one of the questions that seems to be popping up a lot lately is for folks who have an IRA and want to be able to actually have physical gold and silver in that IRA, how do you do that? And today I'm joined by Andy Schectman, owner of precious metals dealer Miles Franklin, who's kind enough to join me and explain that for folks.
Good to see you, Chris. How you been, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir. And yeah, I have a lot of people asking about that. And I know you walked someone through it the other day and thought that'd be a good thing to record. So anybody who wants to know how that process goes, fortunately, it's a bit simpler than you'd imagine. And perhaps you could break it down for us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the precious metals IRA it's a great program, especially if someone is nearing the distribution phase. In IRA speak, that means 59 and a half years old, where you can start taking money out of your IRA without being penalized for early withdrawal prior to 59 and a half. So for any of your older listeners who are nearing distribution phase, it's great because it allows you, the precious metals IRA will allow you to take what's called an in-kind distribution, where you actually just take the metal that is specifically being segregated and held for you in the IRA as a distribution in lieu of or in addition to a cash distribution. So it's a neat way whereby if you believe enough in the product, to have it be the central focus of your IRA, to be able to take possession of it's really cool. And so that's exactly what we do when we build an IRA. We try to tailor it so that we can easily distribute it on the back end. In other words, we would favor 1 ounce coins over big bars, specifically so that on the back end, when people start taking it out, they can maximize their distributions with 1 ounce gold and silver coins, and maybe even some fractional gold coins to help maximize all distributions regardless of the amount. In other words, if a minimum required distribution is $15,000, you want to be able to get all of that out in gold and silver by getting down to the lowest common denominator. So anyways, the bottom line is it's a neat way for people to make a bigger splash in the gold pool without writing out a check. And really all they need to do is transfer or roll over existing IRA accounts into one of the few custodians that allow precious metals IRAs. The one that we work with most frequently is New Direction Trust Company in Louisville, Colorado, not too far from where you are, Chris.
Yep.
And although there are other IRA trust companies that we work with, in fact, just about all of them that allow precious metals we work with, New Direction has been really great for us and has been accountable and accessible and rather swift in getting things done. So if someone has an IRA, let's say with Schwab, there are 2 ways to move it over. A rollover is moving the whole thing over. A transfer is moving portion of it over to a company like New Direction, who will allow stocks and bonds and other types of traditional investments. Plus, they allow precious metals physically to be held in the IRA. Now, there is a third segment, which is an LLC IRA through companies like Checkbook IRA, as an example. And these types of LLC programs allow you to physically hold the metal yourself, be your own vault, so to speak. And while that does have benefits, there are some potential drawbacks to that program as well. So in most IRA programs like the New Direction, you hold the metal or have the metal held at a depository. That's a condition of the IRA. In the LLCs, you're your own depository. Now, the only problem with the LLCs is that if you got burglarized or your house burnt down, the IRS will not have any pity upon you. They will still require their taxes because the money in an IRA, unless it's a Roth, is tax deferred. So I think it's always best in using these IRA precious metals programs to really employ a lot of care in custody of the metal, because like I said, if your house gets robbed or burns down, you still owe the taxes on that IRA, even though you don't own it any longer. So with New Direction, We would roll over or transfer the funds to from wherever it's being held, like a Schwab, to New Direction. We buy gold and silver. The only real restrictions, Chris, is that it has to be pure gold and pure silver, with the exception of the Gold Eagle. It has to be 3.9 fine at least in gold and silver, which is really pretty easy. The only thing really that doesn't work would be Krugerrands, junk silver, and old gold and silver coins. But any of the new modern stuff, Eagles, Maple Leafs, Buffaloes, Philharmonics, gold bars, silver bars, pandas, you name it. If it's 3.9 fine silver and 24 karat gold, it works, plus the Gold Eagle. And then on the back end, when it comes time to distribution, whether it's a mandatory distribution when you're 70 and a half, or a voluntary distribution 10 days after you set it up, you can actually pull the metal out that is being held for you. And to me, that's really the bonus of this entire program, is the ability to withdraw it in the physical metal. And so if you believe enough in that asset class to have it be the central focus of your retirement account, being able to pull that metal out instead of having to sell it, go to cash, and then repurchase it, which is not really an efficient way of doing things, this really makes it a kind of the golden bonus, the ability to pull it out in kind. And for that reason, I like it an awful lot, Chris, because it's one of the few tangible IRA investments that you can actually get your hands on if you need it. Of course, taxes would be applied at that point. But so what? Having the ability to get a hold of it, to me, is really the kicker of all this, and one of the reasons that I'm so fond of the precious metals IRAs.
Well, Andy, that makes a lot of sense, certainly for folks that have IRAs, and especially if I remember before when I first got into gold and silver, I didn't think it was even a possible option. Fortunately, most of these things actually are pretty feasible, easy to do, and I appreciate that you're a good resource in that. Also, thank you for setting up Arcadia at milesfranklin.com. If anyone has any questions about the process or needs any help doing that, again, you can email us at arcadia@milesfranklin.com. Andy, thank you for joining me. And folks at home, if you like this one and like more education about how to just do the things you need to do in the gold and silver world, well, there's another video coming your way now.